Which UDHR are you looking at and what does this mean? We are focusing on poverty, which fall under Article 25 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Article 25 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights states that motherhood and childhood are entitled to special care and assistance, and all children, whether born in or out of wedlock, shall enjoy the same social protection. It covers a wide range of rights, including the adequate food, water, sanitation, clothing, housing, and medical care, as well as social protection covering situations beyond one's control, such as disability, widowhood, unemployment, and old age. The article emphasizes that everyone has social and economic rights and that there is a level below which nobody should fall. While you're looking at poverty is a major issue in our global society today. It affects all race, colors, and regions in all declarations. It is everywhere, and poverty has many negative effects on individuals, families, and communities. It can lead to malnutrition, poor health, and limited access to education and employment opportunities. Poverty also increases the risk of social exclusion, crime, and mental health problems such as depression and anxiety. We believe that the problem of poverty, which makes people unequal, can, if addressed, make a difference in society, making social systems healthy, making hundreds of millions of people and families better off, and equalizing opportunities for most people. Why is poverty of such importance? When did it come into existence? Addressing poverty is important because it has many negative effects on people's lives, such as hunger, disease, poor living conditions, and lack of educational opportunity. Poverty can also lead to social instability, causing division and conflict in society. Addressing poverty is therefore one of the keys to achieving sustainable development goals. It is uncertain when the problem of poverty emerged, but it is certain that it existed for as long as history has been recorded. Over the centuries, poverty has existed in different countries and regions, especially in developing countries. Poverty can be rooted in a variety of complex factors such as natural disaster, political and economic instability, and unequal social structures and opportunities.
How has the U.S. dealt with poverty? The United States has implemented various programs and policies to address poverty. Medicaid, Supplemental Security Income, also known as SSI, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, also known as SNAP, Children's Health Insurance Program, also known as CHIP, and etc. All these mentioned provide financial aid, healthcare, food assistance, housing subsidies, and tax credits to individuals and families in need. In addition to all these welfare programs, the U.S. has focused on other solutions to reduce poverty, promoting equity, building resilience, addressing climate change, improving education, ending world hunger, and promoting peace. Anti-poverty policies and programs such as food assistance, housing assistance, and family tax credits have helped millions of Americans avoid poverty and reduce hardship. Over the years, government assistance programs have become increasingly effective in reducing poverty. For example, the creation of programs like SSI, SNAP, and the Earned Income Tax Credit has contributed to a decline in poverty rates for all racial and ethnic groups. In 2021, the poverty rate in the US was over 12.8%. However, it is important to note that poverty rates vary significantly by age, with the child poverty rate being 16.9% and the poverty rate for those who aged over 65 being 10.3%. Despite the progress made in reducing poverty, there is still room for improvement. Some suggested solutions including expanding safety net programs, creating good-paying jobs, raising the minimum wage, and investing in education and healthcare. By continuing to develop and implement effective policies and programs, the U.S. can further reduce poverty and improve the well-being of its citizens. Case Study 2. How has Hong Kong dealt with poverty? What has Save the Children done in Hong Kong? Hong Kong has been facing a poverty problem, with the poverty rate reaching the highest level since record keeping began 12 years ago. According to the Hong Kong Poverty Situation Report for 2020, before policy invention, 23.6% of Hong Kong's population, or 1.635 million people, lived in poverty. The government has implemented various measures to alleviate poverty, including cash payouts, comprehensive social security assistance, and public housing. In 2020, the Hong Kong government's expenses on poverty alleviation were Hong Kong $169 billion. In Hong Kong, Save the Children supported child protection, child rights, child governance, education, and health programs, benefiting more than 8,000 children and parents in 2019. Save the Children Hong Kong also launched a campaign called Save with Stories HK, where celebrities read storybooks to help kids and led the program to support families in poor communities with learning resources. The organization advocates for the protection of children's rights and works to ensure that all children are protected. Overall, the Hong Kong government and NGOs like Save the Children are working to alleviate poverty and improve the lives of children and families in need.
Human rights are inherent in all people. Everyone has the right to live in dignity and to participate fully in society. Poverty denies people these rights. Specifically, poverty affects economic and social rights. Those rights can relate to the workplace, social security, and access of housing, food, water, healthcare, and education. When, as a society, we allow poverty to persist, we fail to protect these basic human rights. It is important for people to advocate for human rights and take action to address poverty in their communities. This can be done through donating to the organization that works to alleviate poverty, volunteering time to help those in need, and advocating for politics and promote economic justice and equality. People can also educate themselves and others about poverty and its cause. The work is to challenge negative stereotypes and attitude about people living in poverty. Ultimately, it is important for individuals and society as a whole to recognize inherent dignity and worth of every person and work towards creating worlds where everyone has opportunity to live a life free from poverty.